Hello, friends, and welcome to Storytime. Today we're going to be reading the book You Can't Be Too Careful. This book is written and illustrated by Roger Mello. So, this is the front cover, this is the back cover, and this is the spine. And you can see the spine says, You can't be too careful. Okay, friends, let's get started. You can't be too careful. This is the title page. White Rose is safely in her pen. The gardener is keeping a close eye on her. The gardener doesn't turn away for a single moment, as if White Rose might escape from her pen. There's White Rose. But you can't be too careful. The gardener will not leave his post. He won't go outside, not even if it pours with rain and the washing gets soaked on the line, as he woke this morning with a rather nasty cold. He caught a cold from having spent so long barefoot trying to find his shoes, which the cat had hidden. He'd been given this cat by the youngest of his brothers. The youngest of his brothers was married to Dalva, who had inherited the cat from an uncle. Dalva's uncle had died of sorrow waiting for a love letter that never came. The love letter had been sent, but it fell out of the mailman's sack. There's the mailman, and there's how it fell out. At the very moment when the mailman bent down to pick up a brass ring. There's the brass ring right there. The brass ring had ended up on the sidewalk when the seamstress threw it out of her window, telling her fiance that she would not marry him for all the gold in the world. Unless he got rid of that ridiculous mustache. Look at that mustache. He had grown the ridiculous mustache because of a promise made by his mother, an opera singer who had almost lost her voice from shouting, "Help! Help! Help!" when she fell down the hole. The hole had been dug to bury the old man who had been hovering between life and death, but he did not die. He only didn't die because of the performing monkey who went to live with him and brought him his medicine. The performing monkey used to work in a circus, and then he ran away. "Why did you run away?" asked the circus owner. "The clown stepped on his tail when he ran fast." "I ran because I heard a noise," said the clown. "The noise of the world falling on the floor." Oh, there's the world falling on the floor. And the world was kept right on top of the manager's desk. It was a gift from his annoying cousin. His cousin was annoying because she wore a gold brooch that kept pricking her. The goldsmith no longer made brooches with the great care he used to because no one took any interest in his work anymore. "From now on, the value of gold will depend on its weight, not on the craftsmanship," decreed the man who owned the scales. That was how he wanted it because the scales were his, and that's that. The owner had bought the scales from Agrippino, the wealthiest man in the world, who had chosen to give himself up to adventure and had lost everything. Agrippino had lost everything along the way when he journeyed to Mauritania on the back of a shining bird and kidnapped the emir's daughter, she is, who had very much wanted to be kidnapped, so much that she had sent out the shining bird to bring back the first adventurer it could find. The shining bird had been presented to her as a wedding gift by Raja the Maldorius. The Raja had become malodorous from spending so much time bathing in herbs and sour milk. A prescription from a fake doctor to help him marry more quickly. The fake doctor was called Onofre, and he had never graduated. 1 year earlier, he jumped the wall of his medical school. He jumped the wall because he didn't want to be a doctor. He dreamed of playing the bagpipes. But his father would not allow it. Everyone who learns to play the bagpipes ends up wearing a skirt, he said. His father was very old fashioned. A skirt, he means a kilt. Perhaps because he never read the papers, which the newsagent didn't deliver because he didn't know the way. The way was on the map, but nobody could get their bearings because the compass rose had disappeared. Here it is. The compass rose had vanished off the map. Who's hidden the compass? And somebody replied in a whisper, it was White Rose. It was White Rose. But hang on a moment. White Rose is safely in her pen. So White Rose did not hide the compass. And the compass is still on the map. The map led the newsagent to the house of Onofre's father, who always keeps up to date with his newspapers and is a very open minded sort of fellow. He even bought his son some bagpipes. Right here's the bagpipes. Onofre plays these bagpipes like you wouldn't believe. He was invited to perform for the Raja. The Raja got so excited about the music that he decided to take several baths with sandalwood and aromatic herbs. From here to distant lands, there is no bachelor more eligible than Raja the Intoxicating. But his first wife was to be the daughter of the Emir of Mauritania. The Emir's daughter eagerly awaited her wedding, marking the days on her calendar with sapphires. Her future husband would give her a shining bird, which she locked in a cage so it would never escape. The bird never flew to Agrippino, who's still the wealthiest man in the world, though he does occasionally think about giving himself up to adventure. Nobody bought Agrippino's scales, which anyway were never for sale, as he's really very attached to his things. And that's that. What's the point of all these carats of gold without a beautiful design? Thought the goldsmith as he finished work on one more brooch, which he crafted with the greatest of care. This delicate brooch does not hurt the circus manager's cousin. She is an extremely pleasant woman who travels the whole world collecting postcards. She has never even met her cousin, the manager. Her cousin, the manager, has been busy dealing with all the paperwork for his candidacy of an ex-clown who has had it up to here with the circus. What a dull life, said the clown. I'm going into politics. And off he went. He'd been jealous of the performing monkey, who remains the main attraction to this day. The performing monkey never met the old man who ended up dying and was buried. The opera singer went to the funeral. Her song of farewell drew such sighs from all the people there. She has the voice of an angel, and she has a son with no mustache who was married to the seamstress who likes to show off her brass ring to everyone she meets, even to the mailman. What a lovely ring, he said. Then he dashed off to deliver a love letter. The love letter reached the man whose life today is a glorious dream. Meanwhile, his cat sleeps. The man is Dalva's uncle. She was married to the youngest of the gardener's brothers. The gardener always wears his shoes, and he has never caught a cold. From right up close, The gardener watches White Rose. He doesn't turn away for a single moment, as if White Rose might escape from her pen. But then it began to rain. Oh, look, here's the clouds. The gardener rushed out into the rain to fetch the washing from the line. There's the washing. It's hanging out to dry, but if it's raining, it's going to get wet. So we have to rescue it. When he came back, he couldn't believe his eyes. White Rose had escaped from her pen. How do you think she did that? How did she escape? I didn't even know flowers could walk off. The end. So this book is called You Can't Be Too Careful. Thanks for coming to Storytime, friends, and I'll see you next time.